Hello, everybody. We're continuing to read from The Undiscovered Self called Gustav Jung. I believe that's what his name is. I should be running out. I'm saying Gustav like I know. Carl Jung, let's just say that. I don't know why I believe that that's his middle name. But let's continue going. We read about faith and knowledge. So let's continue. The rupture between faith and knowledge is a symptom of the split consciousness, which is so characteristic of the mental disorder of our day. It is as if two different persons were making statements about the same thing, each from his own point of view, or as if one person in two different frames of mind were sketching a picture of his experience. If for person we substitute modern society, it is evident that the latter is suffering from a mental disassociation, i.e., a neurotic disturbance. In view of this, it does not help matters at all if one party pulls obstinately to the right and the other to the left. This is what happens in every neurotic psyche, to its own deep distress, and it is just this distress that brings the patient to the doctor. And he called it right. Let me see, when did he write this? When was this interview? Although there's nothing new under the sun. I think this was in the 1960s or 70s that he's saying this. It's amazing. All right, let's keep going. This is what happens in every neurotic psyche, to its own deep distress, and it is just this distress that brings the patient to the doctor. As I stated above, in all brevity, while not neglecting to mention certain practical details whose omission might have perplexed the reader, the doctor has to establish a relationship with both halves of his patient's personality, because only from them both, and not merely from one half, with the suppression of the other, can he put together a whole and complete man. The latter alternative is what the patient has been doing all along, for the modern gives him no other guidance. His individual situation is the same in principle as the collective situation. He is a social microcosm reflecting on the smallest scale the quantities of society at large, or, conversely, as the smallest social unit, cumulatively producing the collective disassociation. The latter possibility is the more likely one, as the only direct and concrete carrier of life is the individual personality, while society and the state are conventional ideas and can claim reality only insofar as they are represented by a certain number of individuals. Far too little attention has been paid to the fact that our age, for all its irreligiousness, um, is hereditarily burdened with the specific achievement of the Christian epic, the supremacy of the word of the Logos, which stands for the central figure of our Christian faith. The word has literally become our God, and so it has remained, even if we know of Christianity only from hearsay. Words like society and state are so concretized that they are almost personified. In the opinion of the man in the street, the state, far more than any king in history, is inexhaustible is the inexhaustible giver of all good. The state is invoked, made responsible, grumbled at, and so on and so forth. Society is elevated to the rank of a supreme ethical principle. Indeed, it is the credited and positively creative capacities. No one seems to notice that the veneration of the word, which was necessary for a certain phase of a historical document or development, has a perilous shadow side. That is to say, the moment the word, as a result of centuries of education, attains universal validity, it severs its original link with the divine person. There is then a personified church, a personified state. Belief in the word becomes credulity, and the word itself an infernal slogan capable of any deception. With credulity comes propaganda and advertising to dupe the citizen with political jobbery and compromises, and the lie reaches proportions never known before in the history of the world. Um, this sounds so familiar. Sounds like what we're going through. And let me see if I can. I think this interview, some of the comes from an interview. Let's see. Because I really want to know what year this was. Although, like I said, when was this originally published? It was last published in 2006. It doesn't give me the year it was first published, but it's amazingly relevant. So there you go. When they say there's nothing new under the sun, they really, really mean it. Carl Jung. You'll get my commentary on the Patreon page. So, and the link will be there. I'll see you there. And until next time, take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.